Okay, I think I will probably never stand straight again after carrying this up for the unboxing. I'm gonna try and put it down, and with down I mean not on my toes. Give me a sec. Oh, fuck's sake. Figure out this lighting is more tricky than I initially thought, but we're gonna try our best. My hair are half wet, half electric, which is a very, very bad combination, but that's what I'm dealing with right now. I have an unboxing for my birthday. I bought some books on Sci-Fi at the end of February for my birthday, not too many. And then there are a couple of things I picked up on a WHS shop while I was doing something else. I was on the go. So I'll start with those two because they're not in the box clearly, and then we're gonna try and open the box. And the banging that you're gonna hear in the background is my child deciding that 6 p.m. on a Friday evening it's a good time to play with the ball. And yeah, let's start. So I've added water to my hair with the idea that it would make them less electric, but we will see. I want to start with a couple of things I said that were spare meaning outside of the box, and the first one I picked up was Coco Meller's new release, Blue Sisters. I have listened to her Frank and Cleopatra one a couple of years back, and although this is not the kind of books I usually read, like I read them, literature fiction, contemporary fiction, but not as often, I really love their prose, and I thought that for someone who doesn't reach often for that genre, she did a marvelous work of making me care. All I know about this is that it's about these 4 sisters, and they, well, now living apart, they are grown up, but they used to have like a very special connection until one of them dies. So you follow the 3 actually remaining sisters trying to figure out how to move on without one of them, without part of their soul. This is my understanding of this. I think it's gonna break me. Probably I don't have sisters, but I don't need to in order to feel all the feelings. We will see, and I'm quite actually eager to read this one because I have heard great things. And then next one, I'm actually non-fiction that I'm about to start today. I am filming these on the 7th of March, so I'm gonna start this probably in the weekend because I read books on a rota, so I have always 6 books on the go. I know I did an update video, a life update video where I was saying that in 2025 I was reading 5 books, but turned out that I had to add a sci-fi slot. So now I'm reading 6 books on a rota, and I just finished my non-fiction, so I'm gonna pick up a new non-fiction, and I'm gonna pick up Food for Life. This is your guide to the new science of eating well. This is a book about how diet can help your gut health, which is a topic I'm very interested. As someone who had horrible stomach pains throughout my life, I am always eager to read and get more information on how to improve my diet in order to hopefully feel better. And yeah, diet in the past has made a huge difference on how I feel, so I just wanted to read something more on the topic, something more recent. I believe this was published in 2024. Oh no, actually 2022, so it's got probably research in it that's not too much dated, and hopefully I can take something useful out of it. Now, the box. I am gonna find scissors and the wheel to pick it up again.
A few moments later.
I did find both. It was easier to find the scissors so than the wheel to pick this up. There is my address on the top, but I need to open this from the top.
Eventually.
So we managed. To be fair, you didn't do anything apart from sitting and watching. It's this. Okay, there are some manga, not too many, and there are some books, not too many, and together they might make a big box, but it's not too much compared to other birthdays. It's not the biggest haul, so let me maybe try and do it in parts. So we're gonna try and open these ones, and then we're gonna do the rest, but I'm gonna leave it down badly. It's okay, no one got hurt. Okay, so let's start opening this up first. Do package things well, Sci-Fi, and by no means, again, I'm not sponsored or anything by them. I just generally... look, there are like a million bookmarks. They always are very generous with those. This is nice, very simple but nice. I'll show you. And we got a bit of new bookmarks. And then we have a few books. Oh, first of all the Fiends of Hell by Adam Neville. Big fan of Adam Neville. I've read No One Gets Out Alive and The Ritual by him. I heard that this is cosmic horror, so I will go with that. This is a world that it's on the brink of extinction. Aliens are roaming the earth, and the few survivors, human survivors, I'm assuming they're humans, they are trying to stay alive because there are these predators all over the place that eat humans. And Carl, our main protagonist, has heard that toward the sea, so if you can cross the land and get to the sea, there might be some sense of safety there. So that's what he's trying to do with a bunch of other people, actually a couple of orphans, that they're trying to flee south. I was looking for, you know, what to read next after I've read a couple of his, and especially No One Gets Out Alive is my favorite by him. I love that book to pieces, so I was looking for a recommendation to what to read next. I went on Goodreads and I think this was, I mean, it had very nice reviews, so that's how I chose that one. Then I am continuing Across the Green Grass Fields by Shannon McGuire. This is the next one I'm supposed to read in the Wayward Children series. This is so short, like, to be fair, for how expensive these books are, I need them to be either chunkier or cheaper. They can decide which one of the two. I believe this is actually a standalone, so you don't follow any of the kids you follow before. It says it's actually a standalone one, and it's about Regan, that she goes into fantasy world, and this world is full of, says, kelpies and centaurs and like fantastical creatures. So new entry in the saga, standalone. It could be read as a standalone, but I do like to go in order, and I think this is book number 6 in the series, so that's where I'm at. Then I've got here some manga, but I've got one more. I'm going to show you them all together. So I'll go through the last book, which is The Darkness That Comes Before. Unfortunately, there was a better cover for these, but this was so much cheaper. I couldn't justify spending £10 more for a prettier cover, to be fair, because I don't know how much I'm going to love these. But this is by R. Scott Baker. Never read something by him before, and I reached out to these because they told me it's absolutely brutal and vicious and devastating of the story, so I said, like, sign me up. I know that this is a grimdark fantasy, it's a happy kai fantasy. It's very much like takes place after the apocalypse, so I don't know if it's in our world post-apocalypse, so, you know, there is a magic system now in place has replaced humanity as we know it, or if it's like in an invented world. I have no idea. To be fair, considering that there's a map in it, I'm assuming it's more like fantastical world that has gone through an apocalypse. Things are about to get messy again, and it seems like there is politics, religion, and also an ancient evil on the brink of resurrecting. So sounds all the elements I tend to love. And I'm not gonna lie, what attracted me to that was the reviews I heard of how bleak it is. So I really wanna, first of all, try the author because I've heard of him before, and bleak, grim, dark fantasy sounds up my alley. So I'm gonna have the next file in here. I'm gonna try and see if there is the other manga volume or the one I wanna show you, because that's the completion of the current run of manga. Yes, it's in here. I'm just trying to unpack in a way that it's less messy and...
A few moments later.
Well, or I can just drop everything on the floor and that would unpack it for me. Anyway, I found what I was looking for. I guess I should be grateful. And this is what I was looking for. So I have, for my birthday, I allowed myself to... Sapphire, these are very battered copies. So I allowed myself to buy for myself the last 3 volumes in what is out currently of Vagabond. So I had to purchase volume 10. I mean, the spines are alright, that's what I care about a lot, about the spines, because they're gonna make like a drawing all together. And then we have volume 11. That's not helpful, that there's a reflection. Okay, volume 11. And then we have, I believe it's only 12 volumes, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments on below. And then we got volume 12. They are currently out for Vagabond. I need to read volume 9, I believe. I'm up to there, and now they've got all of them, I might binge read these at some point, maybe during summer. Vagabond is a seinen manga for adults, therefore, and it's inspired by a true figure this Ronin in Japan that became eventually one of the most famous samurai, was world master ever. And in this manga, it's his journey through finding his next challenge, is his journey through becoming the best at what he's good at, and on his way he's gonna meet a few very unique characters that are gonna challenge him. And is he gonna win? Is he gonna be the best of them all or not? I guess I won't even probably find out at the end of volume 12, because this is technically speaking not a complete series. I've heard that it might be potentially continue on this series soon, or is already done it. I am not sure. If you have more information, please let me know in the comments down below. I'm not gonna lie, although I love the story, the thing I love the most about Vagabond is the art. It's just outstanding in my opinion. So we got that. Then I am gonna quickly go through the 2 Discworld books I have acquired. I decided to buy one in the library edition, one for each month of the year. I've read the whole Discworld series, so I'm gonna eventually reread it, but I am just collecting them at the moment in those these library editions. I think they're library edition or hardcover editions before they run out of print. And I've got a few. I've got mostly half, I would say. It's a 41 or 42 book series, so I need to buy the other half, and I decided that I would buy one a month. They're not too expensive though, to be fair. Then I got a couple of like fantasy and thrillers I purchased because I've heard of them. They've been on my radar for a while. So first of all, we got The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. I have read the first book by him in a trilogy. I want to say Starcase, but I think it's wrong. Anyway, I've read something else by him, and I remember that although I wasn't the biggest fan of the plot, I really enjoyed his writing and his characters, and I would have even considered potentially continue on. It's just when I moved and I was not attached to that library anymore, so because I had read it from the library, I never went on and purchased the rest. But I've heard great things about these. Mixed bag. Some people say there's a bit slow and nothing much happens, but other people absolutely loved it. And because again I love murder mysteries, and because I loved his writing in the past, I thought it's a good combo for me potentially to give him another try and start this new series by him, which is a detective story. You almost follow like a Sherlock Holmes and his assistant figure. I don't know if the dynamic is the same, but I've heard that it might be similar, and they need to solve a mystery of this man who dies and a tree sprouts out of his chest. I don't know anything else. I don't need to know anything else. I am intrigued. I need to put more water on my hair. They are back to being electric. But I've got one more manga. It's not the last comic, but it's the last manga I've bought, which is Banana Fish Volume 4. I am on the hunt for number 3, but because I know how hard it is to find them, and they often go out of print and you have to wait, I decided I had for cheap this one on Sapphire, so I decided to go ahead and buy it. It's a bit ruined. That's the thing with Sapphire, is that some books have some minimal, some not so minimal defects. I think that's why sometimes you find it for cheaper. I think they might acquire books that have been not used for general sale because of a small defect or so on. But I don't know if that's actually how they operate, but the quality sometimes is slightly not perfect. But anyway, Banana Fish is a sort of thriller that takes place in I want to say the 80s. Yeah, Vice City, New York in the 80s. You follow the adopted son of a crime lord trying to make his way out of the, under the wings of the crime lord and make it on his own. And it's a very like gangster manga for now. I've just read 1 volume, got volume 2. I'm a bit hesitant until I find volume 3 to go ahead, so we'll see when I read it. But I was quite intrigued by the plot, and I enjoyed the first volume enough to continue on and try to collect them. Then I've got a book that I purchased because I had found in a charity work, I had found a Dean Koontz book. I was trying to make my way through Dean Koontz books, and so I purchased it for 50p and realized it's not the first in the series, so I had to go and buy the first one in the series, which is Odd Thomas by Dean Koontz. And this is about this man who can see the dead. I don't know absolutely anything else about it. Dean Koontz has been very much a hit and a miss, but even when he missed the plot, I really enjoy his prose, I really enjoy his writing, and it's entertaining. Like, even when it gets entertaining because it's absurd, I still have, you know, finding a bit of a laugh, and I have always appreciated some of his quotes about life. So I'm gonna start with Odd Thomas, which is a New York Times bestseller, which is a New York Times bestseller. So I'm hope that this is like something that many people loved and therefore is gonna end up fall in the category of it's a win. And then I have a horror, The Troop. I Caved In. This is a horror that's very popular on BookTube. I think everyone has read it. It is a retake of Lord of the Flies, which I've not read that I can remember. I don't know if I read it in Italy when I was in school, but I don't think so. My understanding of this is it's about this group of hikers. I don't know if it's like a school or it's a group of scouts that go on this island on a camping trip, and at one point a very sick man enters the camp asking for food and help and shelter, and all hell breaks loose. And apparently I think it's like body horror, probably it's like a virus situation, and I'm curious. I wanna read it because it's such a popular book. For example, last year I caved in and read The Ruins, and I really enjoyed The Ruins as a horror, and so I caved in and said I need to try, you know, another horror booktube darling, and experience for myself The Troop. Okay, so the last book I have is another horror, and it's Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi, blurred by Stephen King, so I can have some hope. And so it's also the most frightening novel of the year. So, you know, when I said that The Troop is about scouts being on a trip and then a man arrives very sick and infects everyone, probably, my understanding of it. The Boys Valley is about an orphanage, where it's an orphanage for boys, so they're basically busy every day, learning, working in the orphanage and worshipping. And at one point a boy arrives at the orphanage, is deadly wounded and he's got some very odd marks on his flesh, and as he dies releases an ancient evil upon the orphanage, and people start to pick sides and things turn very violent. I don't know anything else apart from evil. Are we talking about demon possession? I don't know. Orphanage, old boys. It's gonna be messy. Yeah, it's blurred by Stephen King. I've heard great things about this. I definitely wanted to give it a try, and it's very high up on my TBR. Now that's the last two things are the same, like there are 2 volumes, and I waited for my birthday to justify paying the money I did for these, because these days I don't buy these like comics. They're very expensive anymore. Like, I had to take a break for a second while I am in school, but for my birthday I wanted to, because I need to read 3 more volumes actually, so I purchased 2 out of 3. I need 1 more to finish the whole collection, but I waited more than a year to say, okay Eva, you know what, it's your birthday, just go for it, to purchase the last 2, not last 2, why I keep saying last 2, the second to last 2 volumes, which I don't think it's grammatically correct, because only volume 6 is the second to last, but anyway, volumes of, give you a sneak peek. Finally, they're in my hands. So I'm talking about volume 5 of Hellboy, the library edition. This contains Darkness Call and The Wild Hunt, and Hellboy volume 6, which is The Storm and the Fury and The Bride of Hell. And then there is volume 7, which is not called volume 7, is Hellboy in Hell, and that is the conclusion. So I need to purchase that for last. I might in a few months, I'll see, and then I will have them all, and I can't even describe like how good of an experience has been reading Hellboy like this. Yes, I was familiar with the movies, I had seen the movies before, so the lore and Hellboy as a character, it's not like, it wasn't new to me, but when I found out about this edition, I said, well, why not reading like the actual graphic novel? And went out, purchased the first one, was at the time quite cheap, and I never looked back, because the experience of reading Hellboy with a massive, like, panels are massive. Gonna try and show you without ruining the book. Has been priceless. I have been adoring Hellboy. The art, the story, the character, the humor, the lore, and also I guess there is something of, even when I read Berserk, for example, I read it like kind of like big panels, the special editions. There is something special on having like magnificent art just amplified. And so yeah, I purchased the last 2 volumes. Again, I purchased almost all the volumes of Hellboy, and I do plan to, when I have a good moment, this is because it's a series that's not too long at the end of the day, like 7 of this library edition in total. I will reread it over and over again, but also I want to cherish it. I want to be in a very good mental space where lately I'm not, so I won't probably read these up until at least late spring, when maybe I have like a quiet weekend or I don't have to rush for school placement or life. I really want to be settled and calm and alone to enjoy, or maybe just have a drink or some tea and just a piece read the last few volumes of Hellboy. Maybe I will wait until purchasing volume 7 and then binge read them, maybe not. They are very much like their own thing, they stand very much on their own. Of course, if you start from the beginning, everything makes a slightly more sense, but the stories are pretty self-contained in each volume. However, you have the overarching plot of Hellboy. Hellboy, it's a boy summoned by the Nazis during World War II from hell. It's supposed to bring hell on earth, although when the Nazi call him up from hell, he does not stand with them and actually is rescued by a doctor and raised by the good guys. And throughout these volumes you follow him, of course, living among humans and looking like a devil and having the pull and, you know, push of hell and of turning bad, but also becomes this agent for this agency that basically chases and fights monsters all across the world, all across all kind of lore. It goes from more like humoristic with a tint of horror here and there to, like, you know, Hellboy traveling all over the world, coming across all sorts of cultures and their lore, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, eager to find time and space and peace to read Hellboy, and I know I'm gonna have an amazing time. That's all, guys. That's all for the haul. I wanted to unbox it with you, and now I'm gonna take some time to go through my shelves, find space, and just admire a bit. I'm probably gonna just spend 5 minutes just looking at these books and perusing quickly through the pages because I don't want to spoil myself, but also I want to have a sneak peek. And yeah, let me know if you've read any of those. Let me know if you liked any of them. Please don't spoil them. But I would love to hear what you thought. If you wanna stick around, please think about subscribing. I'll see you next time. Take care. Ciao.